Welcome to Matrix Live, episode 10, when we're back into our dear bean bags in London after a rainy episode in Berlin last week. Sorry, we're a bit late. We've been celebrating Brendan's living drinks today, as you've seen his last work on Dendrite that we posted on Twitter.
Yeah, so Brendan was an intern who was placed with us this summer, who came to us from Ukraine, coincidentally where the mobile guys hang out.
You might be attacked by this because he's coming from Brest and is very proud of it. So
It's a university in Rennes, right?
No.
Really?
In
It's in
Brest.
Brest. Should we go and start retaking this whole thing?
No, we get this.
Okay, we will keep this. Either way, Brendan's come from us in university in Brest, in Brittany, in France, and spent the last 3 months working with us on Dendrite, and it's been great. He's done loads of things like the Public Rooms API. He's gone and added in third-party invite support into Dendrite, which is a nightmare. At least I find it a nightmare. I find it very hard to understand the sequence diagram that you have to go through when you're inviting somebody by an email address or a phone number into Matrix, but he's added it into Dendrite, and if you look on Twitter, as Owen Dean says, you can see the little animated GIF of it happening. But basically today was his last day, so we've been out celebrating his leaving the team. So thank you, Barrington, and sorry everybody that we're running late.
Indeed. In terms of funding, so no new sponsor to announce today, but we're making some good progress thanks to the Ethereum community especially, so watch this space. And yesterday, which day are we? Friday, so Wednesday, Matthew has done a good show at the Ethereum London meetup, which has been posted some places on the internet, and
Yeah.
quite
So I'd like
noise.
to thank Stefan Twell and the guys at the Ethereum London meetup. We actually sent them an email about 2 years ago saying, hey, Matrix is awesome. We should come to your meetup and tell all the Ethereum cryptocurrency folks about it. And we didn't hear anything until about a month ago when Stefan mailed back, completely deadpan, and said, thanks, yeah, we'd love to have you along. Can you do September the 13th? So, yeah, we said, oh, sure, we'll do that. And so we had a great time down talking to all the Ethereum people about what we're doing with Matrix. It's interesting because there are some huge overlaps there in terms of Ethereum being a big virtual machine running in a decentralized network, and Matrix isn't quite a virtual machine, thankfully, but it does have some overlaps technologically in terms of basically being a real-time equivalent to this decentralized world, and it was a lot of fun. We went and gave a demo of the VR stuff, and folks, if you haven't seen the VR demo on matrix.org, it's linked from the front page of the website. It's matrix.org/VR demo. Is the URL. It works in everything from Chrome to Firefox, Chrome Android. It works on your HTC Vive. It works on your tablet, your phone, your browser.
Maybe even in iOS 11 soon?
Yeah, actually iOS 11, which hopefully should have WebRTC support, should support it fine. And it's basically video conferencing in VR. We spent a lot of time working on it back in March or April.
January, I think it was even earlier than that.
Really?
January.
Possibly. Either way, we did a lot of good stuff on it, and I don't think anybody really knows it exists, because certainly when we showed it to the guys at that meetup the other night, there was complete chaos and enthusiasm for seeing this crazy brave new world of VR on Matrix. So basically we had a lot of fun, and given the hope that our funding may be helped a lot more from the Ethereum community in the near future, it was a fun time.
Indeed.
T-shirts?
Yeah, T-shirts that we're going to send them soon was the message you were trying to pass on.
Yeah, well, not them being the Ethereum community, them being our beautiful Patreon audience, especially the Elliptic people, or specifically the Elliptic supporters who are up at the $50 a month donation level, have started to ask where the hell are our T-shirts. I think this is quite a valid question. I'd like to apologise that it's taken us a month or two to get our act together on that, but especially with hopefully funding crises starting to abate, We have great big cardboard boxes of t-shirts sitting. In fact, should we go on a quick walk? Let's go and look at the t-shirts, everybody. We've got big stacks of t-shirts right here, which we ordered months ago, which are just screaming out to be shipped out, and we basically just need to get on with it and go and do it. And Tom, who some people might know as Lampholder, who works on Matrix on our delivery and project management, has promised
Going to work on post-delivery.
Yeah, to become a postman. He may be the most overqualified postman the industry has ever seen. So thanks, Tom, for doing that. And everybody, don't worry, you're going to get your t-shirts. Sorry about that. Android?
Androids. So Yannick has been working hard on getting Jitsi to work on Android. So actually haven't checked out the demo yet, but it's
I have.
Working.
He's like posted like 58 screenshots of Jitsi on Android and the widgets on Android on our internal Android development room, and it looks awesome. It's like full-blown widgets, like little HTML things, both for the Jitsi and for the web there. So awesome, Yanni. Thank you. And I think it's landed in develop, possibly.
There was a branch. I'm not sure it hasn't landed yet.
I have a feeling in the last couple of hours it's possible that he actually merged it.
Okay, so we'll have to check it out. On iOS, so there have been a bunch of dark theme fixes as well as widgets as well work, finishing integrating widgets into iOS. And Riot-web, a lot of performances and fixing. So
you're trying to gloss over the performances again. The performances are amazing. So if folks had the misfortune of watching us talk about this from Berlin last week, what Dave has been doing on the Riot-web team basically all week is going and constantly polishing away at the performance stuff on Riot-web and Matrix React SDK. And it's also been stability stuff, because there are a lot of changes that landed in Riot-web a couple of months ago, totally changing the way in which the room joining flow works and the way that the registration flow works. And Dave, I'm just going to plug in my laptop before it runs out of power. Dave has been basically beavering away on this. I think we've seen roughly a 3 times speed up on changing room, which is amazing. Yeah. It's not quite as obvious on develop as I would expect, possibly because it's tied up with the number of rooms that you're in at a given point, but we need to look into it a bit more. But also, there are a lot of things where when you join a room recently, you get a preview popping up saying, do you want to join the room? Click here to join the room, after you've asked it to join the room. And a lot of that has been fixed too, which is very, very cool. Right. So thank you, Dave, for hacking away on Riot-web.
And then on server side, so Synapse, Eric has been working on end-to-end bug fixing. So end-to-end is progressing, might be getting to an end. And
so some of the stuff there is really interesting in that it turns out that some of the end-to-end bugs aren't actually anything to do with end-to-end. There's some weird and wonderful edge case where people would join and rejoin rooms could end up no longer being in the membership list of the room. So a pretty fundamental problem that if you sort of click your heels together and join and leave and join and leave and join and leave, that sometimes it might not end up in the right state. And that was actually what was causing the end-to-end issues. But I believe that is hopefully fixed, although I didn't see the PR land yet. And Dendrite?
Well, we have the 3-peats landing, mostly.
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest thing with the small GIF.
Yep, so Brendan's stuff that we talked about at the beginning, and it's looking very good. There was some stuff also happening on Mark's side on Dendrite, but I think it's more kind of architectural, hygiene stuff. Lots of folks are away still, so we're down about 3 or 4 people this week on holiday. But everybody, I think, is back next week at last. So we have the whole team running again and hopefully be able to land a bunch of new stuff. We definitely need to do a new Riot-web release for all the performance stuff. Yeah. And both Android and iOS, especially now we have the widgets, is going to be worthy of a big new update any day soon. I guess the elephant in the corner... There isn't actually an elephant in the corner. But if there was, it would be groups in Riot-web where the work has been very disrupted by the performance and bug fixing maintenance spree that folks have been on. It's also been disrupted by folks being on holiday, and we're starting to get grumbles from people like Max, not mentioning you by name, Max, about why haven't we managed to land groups and communities yet. I'm sorry that we haven't made more progress in finishing it off yet. I think it's about 70%, 75% done, from what I heard.
Hopefully next week back full steam on it.
Yep.
And so should be coming soon.
Yeah, I think even to the extent that Luke was going to go and do other stuff on widgets, possibly, because there is so little to remain on groups, that Dave was going to be in a position to just finish it off. So at last, my dear Patreon supporters, there will be a plus supporters come on matrix.org, and we can start using groups for organising all of these access control based things. So thank you for your patience. Sorry it's taken a while, but it's going to be amazing when it finally lands.
Indeed.
Probably a final thing to talk about would be on the crypto community side of things specifically. One of the reasons we've been talking to the Ethereum people so much is that they've been having some hilarious problems, some very irritating and unfortunate problems with Slack and its support for managing phishing issues. And I think this was even more compounded yesterday when Slack rolled out a silent update which allowed anybody to change their name without any disambiguating information. So imagine a world in Matrix where everybody could change their name to the same display name, but there was no Matrix ID to go and disambiguate who the hell was who. So basically they did this, and apparently it has caused an explosion of phishing attacks in the crypto community space, where it's very financially rewarding to go and phish people, because you can pose to be an important person in the community and say, let me help you debug your Ethereum or Bitcoin problem, just send me your private keys, and then some unfortunate person might send you their private keys and it's a disaster. So that is one of the reasons why the Ethereum community particularly is interested in Matrix at the moment, and we've been speaking to an awful lot of the different communities there about how we can help them and how we can improve Riot to handle these sort of things. So just gives a bit of colour, context on what is going on there and how we basically really want to help them, because we think it's an awesome community, and it's one who have supported us already a lot. If you've been listening over the last few weeks, with donations from inblockchain.com and on ICGo, and hopefully very significant other ones on the future. And I want to support this kind of use case. It's terrible if people are locked inside Slack and they just don't have the controls needed to moderate their rooms or prevent phishing attacks without paying up huge amounts of money per user per month in order to get those kind of features. Whereas we can and will and look forward to adding the sort of moderation stuff, if it doesn't already exist, into Riot so that people can use it today.
Yep.
Bit of a rant. Sorry. What else have we got, if anything?
I think that was about it for this week.
Brilliant. So yeah, we didn't forget Matrix Live at all this week, which is why we're
almost
recording it at 20:11 at night in the office after waving goodbye to Brendan. But thanks everybody for listening, and sorry that we're more legitimately incoherent than normal tonight. And see you soon. Thanks for supporting Matrix.
Thank you again. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.